Alright, the touchscreen. I'm in night mode at the moment, so what I'm going to do is change this to day mode. It will probably be a little easier to see since I'm in the garage. It thinks I'm in the dark. So displays, change that to auto, and I'll cover that in a moment. Okay. If you don't know, the screen can be divided into two panels. It's physically one panel, but you'll notice right now what I have up here is media. The media button has been selected, and that if you select any of these buttons up here, it will put that application, so to speak, at the top, unless you're in full screen. The media doesn't have a full screen, at least not in that mode. So that's now full screen. If I hit nav, it will collapse it apparently and put it in the top half of the screen. So we'll go back to media here, and down below I've got the phone. You can swap these two panels. There's a little, you might not be able to see it on the camera here, but there's a little arrow over here in the corner. You can press those and just swap those. And to full screen any one of these, you can hit the little corner down here and you can bring it back that way as well. So that's generally how you deal with moving panels around and that sort of thing. One really cool trick that I learned from my delivery specialist is that because the default is if you press any one of these, it will replace the top panel with what you press. But let's say I wanted my music to remain here, but I wanted energy to go down to the bottom. You can select energy and drag it down. So really cool little trick. Energy is this is one of the more basic panels. It currently says watt-hours per mile past 30 miles, and you can use your pinch action to change that. So if you open it all the way out, it says past 5 miles, and you can pinch it back into 30. There's also an intermediate setting here of 15, and that will change the display on the instrument cluster in front of the steering wheel, which you probably can't see in the video there, but as soon as you change this, it'll change the instrument panel as well. Media, there is an awful lot of stuff to media. Tesla uses the heart consistently throughout the UI to indicate favorites, to either go to or add favorites. So you'll either see a heart or a heart with like a little plus sign if you want to add to it. In fact, I can show you where that is here. I have terrible signal here, so this stuff is not going to work well, but it's grayed out because I don't have a page loaded, but there's a heart plus for adding a favorite and heart to check out your favorites. We'll go back to media. You can see there's a speaker icon here indicating that is playing. It also lets me go as a shortcut into the now playing mode, but if we go back into browse, what I have done on my radio for FM is I have currently 2 presets. There are 4 others that are empty. But if you do listen to and use the radio, it is HD radio. You'll see your HD signal here. You can also use this to deal with favoriting the station. You can turn HD on and off. Thank God, fantastic. I hated that you couldn't do that in the double-din Alpine for the Roadster, FM, AM, XM. And one of the cooler things is you can actually slide this around to tune your stations. It can be a little tough to get it just right. As you can see there, I think there's a little bit of work to be done there with the UI. But you can tune this way too. This will find the next station. Up here is where you can control your fade and balance. Since I have the upgraded Sound Studio package, I have the Dolby Surround. That's fascinating. I didn't actually touch anything. I wonder if that's pretty funny. There is one thing, I don't remember feeling it touching the screen. Another little trick that I learned from my delivery specialist was you don't have to actually hunt and peck for that X to get rid of this thing. You can touch anywhere else in the screen to get rid of those style pop-ups. Back in here you can change your fade and balance, front, left, front, rear, left and right. And if you want to get it back to perfect, you don't have to sit there and fiddle with it. If you just, if you've got it somewhere, if you just tap generally in the center of the screen, it'll go back to 0, 0. And you can turn your surround on and off if you want. And then tone, you can, you can change your there's only 3 here right now, but bass, mid, and treble. Touch anywhere on the screen to get rid of it. I'll get to that in a sec. Browse. That's an important thing to remember when you're trying to find something. If you're in this area, it's really easy to sort of get lost. So remember that you've got your panels. You do typically have tabs up here within the panel. So if you're like, well, geez, how do I get back to? I want to get Slacker radio playing. Browse. And then you do typically have sort of a menu on the left here in a lot of the applications, and you can step through. So that's how I got to FM. But I can go to the internet, and then I can get into Slacker. What I was doing previously was top 20 stations. That's what's showing up here. I could search Slacker if I wanted to. Maybe I want to see some new stuff. My signal is so bad here, I don't know how well this is going to actually work. Anyway, top 20, today's hits. Click on that. You'll see it's going to try and stream here.
You would assume. So that was the Underwear. Speaking to the German Shepherds in German are actually
I'm not
paying
entirely sure what's playing right now. It might still be the FM radio because it looks like this is still streaming.
I'm going to have to go with the gold.
I've noticed it doesn't switch over to streaming until it's actually
German
downloaded
Shepherds
enough
speaking German.
to interrupt what was
Do
previously
you have
playing.
dogs? Do they obey you?
I have.
Kill that. Standard controls. You can favorite stuff here. That's a it's not the Tesla favorite. This is probably the Slacker favorite built into your account, and I'll talk about where your account and all those settings are in a second. But you can favorite go to your favorites with here. So no matter where you are, that's another kind of shortcut. So if you're in now playing, you don't have to be like, all right, like browse, go to my favorites, and blah blah blah. Just hit the little heart sign. There's also a shortcut for your history or your recently played stuff as well. I think that's pretty self-explanatory for internet. My music and devices I will do in a separate bit. I'm actually currently having some problems getting my phone to properly sync more than just my phone. You can see I am Bluetooth connected right now, and my phone will work, but my music for some reason isn't working, so I gotta figure that out. So we'll come back to that. And favorites and recently played you saw, and it looks like you can remove things from favorites, which I don't want to do here. But if we tap this, it's another shortcut to getting to your different things you can tune into, different bands, so to speak. FM, AM, XM. Tune in Slacker for your internet, and you can see Slacker is what's now or currently playing. If I go to FM, and hopefully this
Michelangelo.
yeah, that's FM. And I look here now, you'll see that FM is now listed as currently playing. So no matter where I am, if I tap that, I can see that. Now there are some, and I'll show controls for the steering wheel and on the instrument cluster that tie into all of this. So you're not sitting here fiddling with this while you're driving. There are ways to, for instance, see this list and change it. There are ways to, of course, tune the radio or go to the next song and those sorts of things with the steering wheel controls to see some of this information on the instrument cluster as well. Anything else for media? I'm sure I'm missing stuff. If you have questions, I'm more than happy to answer them and do a little more video. What I do hope to do actually as well at some point is sort of live broadcast this, so I can just do general Q&A. You tell me what to do, and I'll play with the screen so you can see what happens. And I'll probably want to get like a USB stick, plug that in there so you can see how that interfaces as well. I currently do not have one with me. So that's media. And fortunately that's one of the more complicated ones. Navigation's perhaps the next most complicated one, so it won't take as long. Before I do that, I'm going to show a few shortcuts then go into the controls and just sort of reiterate those shortcuts again. So currently 62 degrees Fahrenheit in ambient. If you tap that, that's how you can go quickly back and forth between Celsius and Fahrenheit. Notice when you do that the controls for the interior also change to Celsius. If you tap the battery, you'll get this screen, which I think you've seen in one of my previous videos. You can open the charge port this way. So if for some reason you need to quickly open the charge port without using your UMC, let's say you're at a 1772 charge station, sort of reach over into the car, tap your T, tap your battery, and tap open charge port. And then you can change your current settings here, of course, as well. Tap anywhere on the screen to get rid of it. HomeLink up here, I don't have HomeLink devices, but if I did, that's how you would access those. If you tap the little T, Tesla T here, you get about your Tesla. This is where you'll see your current software version, your VIN number. It actually does reflect the current physical state of your car, so if you open up your door, it actually does show that. You put your blinker on, it will actually light up all of the lights involved. Nice little touch to that. Tap anywhere to get rid of it. Tap your Bluetooth for Bluetooth setup, connecting and that sort of thing. So this goes back to what I was talking about, having trouble with my media. For whatever reason, when I connect, it initially shows that my iPhone is both has media and phone, but the media will quickly gray out and I can't use it. So I'm going to play with that and try and figure that out. I may end up having to talk to Tesla about it. Tapping 3G currently doesn't do anything. The delivery specialist noted that it might do something in the future once the information about the carrier that they were using is public, so it might tell you a little bit more information about the carrier that you're using. I'm assuming that there's a whole bunch of data that they could choose to display there, so I can only hypothesize about what that might be. And then tapping the time will change from AM, PM versus 24-hour format, 12-hour versus 24-hour format. So those are good shortcuts to know. Now, the other thing, when you're not dealing with applications, key thing to remember: controls, bottom left of the screen. Not including the HVAC stuff. This stuff is basically always here. So your volume, for your music and whatnot is here. I don't have the update version where I can do increments.
The long game,
less than, full decimal digit. You can do independent controls here. Now this I found not particularly intuitive, so I'm going to show this. I had to ask about this. I figured that if I change my own climate settings here, that makes sense to change my settings. I figured if the passenger were to change their own settings, it would change their settings and immediately split, but it doesn't. It will change it for both of us. You'll notice that as I'm doing this here, though, that not only is the temperature readout showing, but there's a sync temp here, and it's currently lit blue, which means active in sort of the way Tesla has done the UI. So if I wanted to not sync the temperature, if I just tap this and tap sync temp, I'm now split. So now I can change these independently, and if I wanted to sync them back together, of course, I can just hit sync temp and we're good to go. Front defroster, rear defroster, climate control on or off. If you want to override what the system is doing to maintain these temperatures, tap this area right here where it says auto on. It does display what it's currently doing as well. So even though it's set to auto, it will tell you, yes, I'm blowing air into your face right now. The fan is on low, and I'm not currently on recirc, and the AC is set for auto. But to override those, tap that area. Now you can change the four automatic areas, whether you want to force air conditioning on or off, whether you want to change your recirc or not by hand, This one's interesting. I kind of like the way they did this. It's you know, sort of breaking away from the mental model, the traditional area. I got air blowing at me in the face right now, but I want to, let's say I want bilevel. I want to blow at my face and at my feet. If you tap that, you'll notice it's additive. So now they're both black and they're both lit. If I tap it again, it'll remove it. If I want to move it from my face to my feet, what I'll need to do is tap that and then tap this, and that'll be you know, feet only, and similarly for windshield. And it looks like you can do all three. I wonder if that's actually true. That would be pretty interesting. And then if you want to go back to automatic mode, just tap auto, of course. You can drag the fan around, or go back to auto. And those are the HVAC controls. Seat heaters, one tap gives you, now I'm assuming 3 is high, medium, low. Tap again for off, for both the driver and the passenger. So I think that's HVAC. So now, the fun stuff, right? The really geeky stuff. Play with the car, change things, break things, controls. So, so for controls, you can. It's pretty easy to just take your eyes real quick and drop them down, and you can hit controls. It's a pretty big area. You know, it's all 5 of my fingers can fit in this section of the screen. The other thing you can do if you just want to sort of feel for it is get your hand up under here and your thumb into the corner of the screen. You can feel it. You can hit controls that way. So. So controls, I'm gonna basically just start from the top down. You know, again, remember that some of the UI has some menus along the left, tabs along the right. So I'm going to do this, then I'm going to go into settings and cover that sort of stuff. So if you hit the control screen, this is what you get as long as sunroof is displayed. You can hit X here. You can sort of hit anywhere else on the screen. Again, like all other pop-ups, you can make it disappear by doing that as well. So, sunroof screen. There are 2 ways that I know of to open it, and there's an interesting difference between the two. Of course, the fancy drag and drop of the screen here. So. What's funny about the difference between the two, you'll notice now this is sitting at 80 and it says comfort position. That's what will happen if you hit open on the right. It'll go to the comfort position of 80%. And I'll explain what that means in a sec, but you can drag it all the way down to 100%, which is called open here and lights up open here, but you'll see the difference in a moment. So if you let go, you can hear it. Sunroof is currently opening. You can tap to stop if you wanted to stop at that moment. Of course, you can drag it closed. Now, finish. If I tap open, it goes to comfort position at 80%, not open. If I tap open again, it will go to 100%. Now, if you tap that little area, it'll go to the comfort or 80% position. As you might imagine, comfort. The comfort position is it causes less wind buffeting when it's open to 80%. If it is all the way back, you'll get a little bit more buffeting. I haven't played too much with that because it's like 50 degrees out today, so I know it says 60 here, but I just pulled out of the garage, so trust me, it's too cold. Of course, you can hit close. There's vent position, and that's the sunroof. Pretty self-explanatory, but pretty cool. Driving. Yes, so because the car has turned off, I had previously exited the car, so I'm going to hit the brakes, turn the car on. That's going to enable some of this stuff here. Let that shut up. So you can adjust the suspension here. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Going from standard to very high actually takes a fair amount of time to get there, so I'm just going to do that. I don't know that you can sort of hear it, but the car is slowly raising up, and it spins as it's going through the cycle. Actually, it was much faster than before, so that's good news. Jack mode basically disables air suspension. Well, you're gonna hear a beep, and you'll see a couple of warnings. It's fun. There's a little bit of a timing there that they could probably tweak. It initially beeps at you, and you're like, "Oh my God, the air suspension needs service." That's what it says on the instrument cluster. But then it says, "Oh well, jack mode is on, so suspension leveling is disabled." You did that, and you get the warning here as well. So both of them show up. And you'll want to do that for changing your tires. You don't want to jack up the car without jack mode being on, because the air suspension is going to detect that the car is changing and will try to adjust for that, and that's not what you want to do while you're jacking up the car. So make sure you do that if you're changing your own tires, and just tap it again to turn everything back on. Steering, standard, sport and comfort, of course, regen, standard and low, and traction control on and off. I have not turned that off yet. I probably will at some point, just to see what that's all about. But I'm not going to get into what those mean. I think there's been enough discussion about it. If you want to know more about it, then feel free to ask. You can pop the front trunk from here. When I do the walk around, I'll actually do all of that and show you the front trunk, and there's a dual latch system in there, and some fun around that too. That's good to understand. You can unlock the charge port here. If you watch the charge port, the charging, the J1772 charging video that I will post later, you'll see when that can come into play. Normally you don't really need to play with that. And of course you can open the trunk from there. You can actually open and close the trunk from there. So ambient lighting is turned on right now. Again, blue meaning selected. So of course you can't see it in the video, but from what I can see, ambient lighting basically just means lights on underneath the armrests on the doors. I don't see any lighting on the floorboard. I could swear in earlier models there was lighting under there for ambient lighting, but I don't see it now. So you can shut that off, turn it on. It's always on when it's on. So even while you're driving, the ambient lighting is there, which is great for nighttime driving, especially for your passengers if they want to find something without having to turn on the dome light. Dome light, of course, if you set it to auto or on and off, I always just leave it set to auto. I don't ever suspect I would want to really set it to on, generally speaking, because you can push you can't see what I'm doing, but you can push the light itself is a button to turn that individual light on, like a reading light. Daytime running lights, on or off. Fog lights, and the car reflects that, on or off. I was actually getting, I think 3 or 4 times last night, people were flashing their high beams at me as if I were driving with my high beams on, and I wasn't. I actually flashed them back. But I'm wondering if I'm blinding passengers. I don't know if it's because my headlights are too high and they need to be adjusted, or if the fog lights were causing issues. But as I turn them on and off here, the fog lights are pretty constricted to a very low plane, so I'm not sure that's what that was. That's why I have them off right now. But that was interesting. So I'll probably need somebody to just check to make sure that that's set correctly. Headlights, you can turn just your parking lights on. I don't think I can actually personally see them with just the parking lights on. It shows them on here, but anyway, you can force the headlights on, or force them off, or set them to auto. I noticed that when I had the parking lights on, that the ambient lighting shut off. So ambient lighting will only be on if your headlights are on. There is a sensor in the rear view mirror here. and I suspect that's what's controlling the automatic portions of both the headlights and the screen. I have the screen set to forced to daytime right now just for the video recording purposes, but I'll show you that in a moment. But the screen would normally be dark right now because it's dark outside. And let's see, the only other thing I haven't touched yet is charging, and you've seen the screen before. It's just another way to get to it. Unfortunately, when you X out of that, you also X out of the entire control system. So come back into controls and trips and range. So 159 miles rated range. That if I were fully charged in in standard mode, you know, I'm forgetting what it's called. Yeah, standard mode in the Model S. Then I would have 240 miles of rated. Projected is based on your last 30 miles of driving. You can get this to show up in your instrument cluster as well. I actually like having that there. I have not yet done this, and I'm okay with doing that. So I'm going to hit reset here, and I don't know what's going to happen. So that, I guess that projected just goes away, and as I start driving, I imagine projected will show up. It might show up now because I am consuming power, but it might require me to drive a mile or something before something shows up here. So, okay. Since the last charge, I've driven 0.3 miles away from my garage and consumed you know, this 0.1 kilowatt hours of energy, using an average of 315 watt hours per mile. 2 trip meters. You can individually reset A or B, and similar to the Roadster, but for those of you who didn't drive a Roadster, standard, you know, mileage since your since you last did the reset, the amount of energy you consumed, and then do the math, and that's your average energy consumed per mile. And these numbers play a role in you understanding how much energy you're using to help you sort of predict how far you can go. The car will tell you, but it's also nice to put that together with your energy meter and sort of see how your driving behaviors are currently affecting your power consumption. For range, I think that's it. So I'm going to move on to displays. This is where, now I have it set to 100% again for the camera, and you'll probably notice this on the camera. Now if I set this down, now to me this is just a nice dimmer display, but what the camera is seeing is some flickering, and that's presumably because the backlight to the screen is just pulsing the backlight too fast for my eyes to see, but fast enough for the camera to see. So I'm going to leave it to 100 so that it looks better. You can see I have it forced to day mode. This is what night mode looks like. It will change it does change and did change the instrument cluster as well. Auto would leave it as dark right now because it's dark outside, but I'll force it to day so it's better for the camera. E-brake and power off. This one, this has a couple of interesting buttons. And I'm having a little trouble remembering exactly what happens here, so bear with me. The first thing I'll do is the other one, because that one I do remember. It's pretty simple. Power off the car. It asks, are you sure? I'm going to let go of the brake here. And it basically shuts down the car. And it's really kind of more like sleep, because, and I'm not sure you'll be able to see this, if I just touch the screen, it comes on instantly. And the car comes on, you can hear some clicking and, you know, other things happen, brings the car back to life. Not sure why you'd want to use it unless you wanted to go to sleep in the car. So, parking brake, this is where you have some manual parking brake control. I haven't played a lot with this, so I will probably do another quick section on this when I have. Apparently it can be used to apply the parking brake if the car is below 5 miles an hour. I think that was a requirement for safety reasons. But the other thing it can do, I honestly don't remember, so I don't remember what the car is off. Let me turn the car on. Okay, so now by touching that, the car has gone into neutral and the brake is off. So if I let go of the brake pedal, the car is now rolling forward, not because I have creep, but I'm on a slight incline. If you want to manually select the parking brake, you can either hit park on the steering column as it says here, which will put the car into park and set the parking brake. But if I remember correctly, the delivery specialist mentioned that if you just touch this, that will let you do something like leave the car in neutral. I can let go of the brake, the car won't roll. If I get out of the car is not going to shut down either now or for within 5 minutes or whatever the timeout is, if I were to have just put the car in park and exit the vehicle, because your passengers might want to leave the HVAC running or listen to music or just whatever. So this is apparently an interesting way right now. Hopefully there'll be something a little bit more obvious coming in a future software update, but for you to give your passengers comfort if you're going to leave the car for a few minutes. So I think that's what I remember him talking about. But as far as doing this while the car is moving, I'll do that some other day and sort of report back on what that's all about. So I'm going to put the car back into park, and that updates. So that covers all of these. Now if we go into settings, we have again a menu on the left here. I was previously in the media player settings, but if you haven't been in here before, this will be what you see on the apps selection. So you can change settings for media player, nav, energy, web browser. There's no settings, at least not now, for camera and phone. So they're grayed out, so to speak. So back into media player. This is your Slacker account information and your TuneIn account information. Each car, maybe it's only signatures, I'm not sure, but Tesla creates you a Slacker account. You can see my Slacker account is S00246 at teslamotors.com. If for some reason you lose the password or whatever, you can contact Tesla and they can set you, get it to you, reset it, whatever that needs to happen. You can change your audio quality for streaming here. So that's how you would set up your Slacker and TuneIn. Go back to all apps. Settings for your navigation, map magnification, 1x, 1.5x, and 2x. I personally haven't tried that yet. I forget what my delivery specialist said about that. I have no reason to play with that. I'm just going to leave it as it is. Show traffic on or off, pretty self-explanatory. Energy, this is just a redundant way to change your chart look back from 5, 15, and 30. You might as well just go into the energy thing itself and just use your pitching motion to change that. And then finally your web browser, change your home page is pretty much what that lets you do. Units and format, again, if you remember, you can change your time format by tapping the clock. You can also change it here. Temperature, you can tap here. Your charging units, this I actually, now I'm going through this is fascinating. Energy versus distance. I wonder what exactly that changes. This is pretty cool. So I'm going to play with that and see what that's about. And range display. This is where I wanted the range display on the instrument cluster to show me projected instead of rated. It came from the factory as rated, and I'd prefer to have projected on my display over there. So I set that. Vehicle. Driveway door lock, so of course if you start driving above 10 miles an hour or whatever it is, the doors will lock. If you walk away from the car with your key fob with you, the doors will lock. And then child protection locks can the rear doors be open from the inside. Mirror auto tilt, if you put the car into reverse, the mirrors will tilt down and in, so you can see the edges of your car. And lights, do you want them to be left on, your headlights left on when you exit the car? HomeLink, I don't have any devices, but so I have not played with this interface at all. And that covers controls in their entirety. I think I covered everything there. I'm going to go back because the edited version of this segment, I'm going to redo the nav and the phone and streaming audio. I took some notes here to make sure I remember to cover it, as well as the backup camera, because I ended up editing those out, so I'm going to do them again. So I did manage to get the media with my phone working. I basically just did a forget this device and pair it. In fact, what I'm going to do is do that again because I want to demo pairing the phone. I know I had a little bit of trouble doing it the first time in the store, and I remember seeing some folks were having the same problem. So what I'm going to do is so I've got my phone here with me. Let me actually set its brightness to full here so it shows up better. Come on. Back into Bluetooth. So I'm going to forget this device, and I'm going to also forget it on my phone. Last time I did this, it didn't disappear. I think it's showing up. I think what's happening is it's showing up on the phone here because the car is advertising there's something here, and the phone is like, oh, hey, there's something there. Do you want to connect to it, sort of thing. Now, what you do not want to do is start the pairing or do anything on the phone until prompted. So get into Bluetooth, start your search. The phone shows up. And confirm that this number is displayed on your device, 873-512. Tesla Model S would like you to pair with your iPhone. Confirm that the code 873-512 is shown on Tesla Model S. Yes. Pair. Done. Phone and media show up, and that's it. People were getting into trouble, including myself, by trying to initiate the pairing from the phone or reconnecting from the phone. It doesn't. It's supposed to work both ways, and this could probably be improved. But always try and reconnect from the car. That seems to work better than trying to reestablish connection from the phone itself. So I'm now connected, and these are just shortcuts. So I can go to the phone from here, or my intention for the moment is to go to media. So again, remember this is the media app. We're in the browse. I can go to radio, internet, or my music and devices. My phone shows up. So if I click on my phone, we're now in the area of what your phone does. Depending on the version of OS the phone is running and the type of phone you're running. So you're sort of at the mercy of the Bluetooth implementation of whatever you're dealing with there. Now, in my case, I'm running an iPhone 5 with iOS 6. I last had Spotify open, so that's what is coming up here. But this doesn't always quite work correctly either, and I'm more likely to blame iOS than I am Tesla for this. But that actually worked, which is pretty good. This was. Yeah, apparently repairing the phone, I was having problems getting it to play and stop consistently via the screen, but that's working now, and of course, and you can change tracks. Now, the album artwork doesn't come across via Bluetooth. What the Model S is doing is it's reading the information about the artist and title and fetching the artwork for you, so it can show it to you here and on the instrument cluster, which is pretty freaking sweet. Let's see. So, I don't know. Let's see. I don't have any local music on my. Do I? On my. Let me just check here. Let's see. Songs. I do. So, I'm gonna use my sort of built-in iTunes music app on the phone itself instead of Spotify. And so I'm sort of natively controlling built-in music now as opposed to a secondary app. And on the phone itself, you know, you can see I want to play it over the Tesla Model S or the iPhone, pretty standard control there. But it does not appear that I can browse music or anything of that nature on my phone. This is just kind of a raw Bluetooth play pause sort of interface. I think that's it for Bluetooth. This can be controlled via the steering wheel. You know, I can hit previous and next from the touchscreen, and I can also pause. Okay, moving on to GPS, and how sexy is it that I can have a 15-inch GPS? This is Google Maps. You can tell this is Google Maps. It says Google here, but it's painting like traditional Google Maps, separate from the nav. And what I think of what we've been reading is that when you input an address in here and launch something, this remains Google Maps. It does start to say, so it does put a Tesla logo down here, and so because it's now starting to show you navigation information, but the real sort of non-Google navigation interface will show up on the instrument cluster, and that's it. That's the tech package thing. So pretty standard pinch and zoom, interface here. Satellite on and off. You can zoom this way if you want for some reason. I'd almost prefer that they get rid of these and save the real estate, because I think people are going to pinch and zoom instead of trying to hunt and peck for that. Standard button here for, if you've swiped the map, you've been browsing, this will recenter you to your current location. And this is your history for where you've been and the actual search items that you've put in. These addresses are okay for the video. I went ahead of that and made sure that was okay in time. I went to the 99 restaurant in Tewksbury because I have a 1772 Charge over there, and that's where I did my testing, and that's where that video was taken. I also went to lunch at the Regatta Deli earlier today. Oh my gosh, I love their stuff. Had sushi last night, and then I just was just playing around and put in just one Maiden Street Waltham, which is nearby. As you can see, it's only 3 miles from here, but you can X any of these out, which is what I did earlier to clean this list out for the video, and then recent searches. So these are just the literal searches. You can see that I didn't know what the address for Oishi was. I just typed in Oishi 2, Sudbury, Mass, and Google Maps, gave me some suggestions. I'll walk you through that in a sec. But the actual address I picked is what gets thrown in there. Let's do something like this: Museum of Fine. Right. So Google autocomplete basically happening. I did not want to click that. Now I've done it. Museum of. There we go. So auto-completing some suggestions to help you get through the search. Okay, let's go to Museum of Fine Arts. Pulls up the address and the phone number from you. The distance as the crow flies, not as you drive. Shows you where it is on the map. And if that's what you want, you can click navigate. You can also click cancel search. I'm going to click navigate.
Proceed to the highlighted route onto Longfellow Road.
And she's talking to me. So, of course, the route is highlighted. This is the thing that I need to do right now. I also have something being displayed on the instrument cluster, and in a future video I will figure out a way to merge this experience so you can see what's happening on the instrument cluster as well as what's happening on the screen here. But for now, this is what I want. This is what you need to do now, and you can scroll through the list of instructions. But you've always got a couple of instructions here. You also have a couple of instructions on the left screen if there's something to do soon. You can change the volume for nav independently of the media volume. So if you've got your volume muted or all the way down or anything like that, this is the volume she's going to speak with you at. And it gives you your estimated time to get there, 17 minutes, 10 miles of roadways, and estimated time of arrival. So of course current time, which is 8:26 plus 17 is 8:43. And if you're done, just click cancel. And that's it. It does give you your current location. That's actually something I just now noticed. Presuming this will always just show you the current city you're in, and I'm technically in Auburndale, Mass. It's another Newton Village, but this is close enough. That's fascinating. I'll have to, when I drive around, I'll have to pay attention to that. And you can redo the search. Interesting that 230 Fenway in Boston, Mass. Are showing up first, but Museum of Fine Arts shows up as the third one. Results sorted by Tesla, I'm noticing, is showing up down here. Yeah, that's fascinating. Cancel search. And I don't know that there's much else to show in this interface. You can see my MFA search here. This definitely, strangely I'm outside and I still only have 1 bar of 3G signal here. That's kind of poor, although my phone isn't getting great reception right now either. So my phone's Verizon. I don't, this is, who knows who this is, AT&T, I don't know, but I guess I'm getting pretty poor signal back here. Anyway, I find it slow, especially to do something like satellite. It'd be kind of neat if satellite, worked fast enough. But as you're traveling around, especially if you have spotty signal, I mean, it's just too slow. So I'll never use it. That's nav. So I'm gonna check my notes for what I missed. The backup camera, I'm remembering now. What else do I have here? And I'll talk about the signal as well. I'll talk about the phone. Okay. Backup camera. It's dark out. There is some lighting behind me. But this looks pretty good. You can see I'm not in reverse. I'm not using the car's reverse lights to light up. But I'm gonna turn the car on and put it in reverse. That's actually not providing any additional help. But when it is dark, the camera actually is pretty good. That's actually a license plate screw right there that I can see. I'll show you the phone interface. So my contacts, if I go into one of them, I'll see the phone number, and I believe clicking on one of them, I'm not going to do it, will call them. Actually, what I can, when I do this, there's an interface on the instrument cluster where you can alphabetically browse by by letters, so it's a little faster to find stuff, especially if you have a long contact list. But what I'm trying to do is avoid putting somebody's phone number on the screen here that I don't want folks to see. So that does dial. My phone is dialing. The output is Tesla Model S.
Welcome to Reservationless Plus Conferencing. Enter your conference code, followed by the pound or hash sign.
Pretty self-explanatory. You can do manual dialing, and I'm not going to show you recent calls because that does show phone numbers, but you can imagine what's in there. It'll show you all calls, missed calls, dialed calls, that sort of thing. That's the phone. The microphone for the phone, for the Bluetooth, is basically right in front of the rearview mirror, right where my finger is pointing. It's pretty large, and these speakers are just the car speakers. The other thing I forgot to mention too, when you're doing navigation, when she's talking to you, the volume in the car lowers, but the instructions are only coming out of the speakers for the driver, which is pretty neat. So you're not bombarding the entire compartment with instructions. And last thing I will note, and it doesn't require me showing you anything. When I was trying to do some of this in the garage, I figured I'd note this for folks, but I had such terrible signal in the garage, I couldn't get the nav to do anything useful, nor could I, and this was the other thing I missed, so I am going to show you something here. I couldn't get Slacker to do anything particularly useful, so this is going to stream, hopefully. Yeah. Playing music over the built-in. This will go to Edge too, by the way. It's not strictly 3G, so Edge or 3G. Actually, if it's Edge, that might be an AT&T-ism, I wonder. But anyway, it will stream over the built-in cellular connection as well. So I was having trouble getting any of that to work in the garage. The garage that I park at is huge, and I fully understand why cellular doesn't work down there, and my phone doesn't really get signal down there either. But what that does mean is that while I'm parked there, I'm highly unlikely to get any software updates, which will be interesting. Maybe I'll get a notice while I'm parked at work, and I come back and it'll be downloaded already or something. That'll be okay. But it also means, more importantly, that when the iPhone app and the Android app and everything else, whatever Tesla has planned, won't be able to communicate with your car if you don't have signal. So, if you're worried about it, it might be interesting for you to test a couple of carriers. Since we don't know who this is yet, if you've got access to Verizon and AT&T through friends or whatever, and just see if your cell phone gets signal to help you understand that situation, in case there's anything you can do about it, like have your parking spot moved closer to the edge of the building, or something like that. Because for me personally, I do get signal if I move closer to the edge of the building inside the parking garage, and especially do something like do that now if your plug hasn't already been installed yet, so that the request could be, please give me a parking spot where I'm close to the edge of the building so I can get cellular signal, and wire the plug to that location. So I think I've talked myself out on the touchscreen. Again, if there's any questions, clarifications, ask in the Tesla Motors Club forums. That's literally Tesla Motors, plural, teslamotorsclub.com. You'll see me in there as Synergy. That's spelled Cinergi. And there's a thread in the Model S forums there called Synergy's Model S, where I'll be posting these videos too, and where I'll be carrying on my conversation in general about these videos. I pretty much also read all of the threads, so if there's some topic already being discussed and you're wondering about it, I will find them and answer them in there as well. So I'm going to stop talking, and later I'll be doing some videos outside of the car when it's light outside to show you the exterior of the car, the front trunk, and how that operates, and the latching mechanism, and the rear trunk when it's light out, so you can actually see it, and anything else. Oh, and of course the instrument cluster. I'm going to see how I can get a video. I don't know if I can get a video of both screens. If I can't, then I'll focus in on the instrument cluster. I'm pointing like as if you could see it. I'll show you something on the instrument cluster at least, and then tell you what I'm doing on the touch screen so that you can just see what the impact is on the instrument cluster. I'll have some videos while I'm driving, so you can watch the things like the navigation turn by turn. You know what that looks like, and whatever else you want. So, all right.